Hi guys, I'm Anna. And
Hey.
I'm Pastor Ryan's daughter, and this
What's going
is Pastor
on?
Ryan.
Hey everybody.
As
Welcome
you
to
know.
Holy Week. So excited. Yeah, hey, we got some special things to teach you about. We're talking about Joseph from the Bible. You know anything cool about Joseph?
Yep, we're going to find out.
Yeah, we're going to find out a lot. This man went through a whole bunch. So I'm going to start reading, and here we go.
If you have the Jesus Storybook Bible, then you can just pull it out.
Go ahead and
Or
grab
if
it.
you have a regular Bible, that's fine too.
Yep, because you'll find this is straight from Genesis 37 through 46. Jacob had 12 sons, but of all his sons, Joseph was his favorite. One day, Jacob gave Joseph a splendid new robe. Splendid, dear! It was beautiful and rich with all the colors of the rainbow, but it made Joseph's brothers jealous. They wanted rich rainbow robes too. Then to make matters worse, Joseph kept on having these special dreams. I dreamt I was the greatest. I was king, Joseph told his brothers. And you all bow down to me. Now, I'm sure you know, even if Joseph didn't, that telling your brothers things like that isn't a very good idea. That is not a good idea. Joseph's brothers hated him even more. They wanted to kill Joseph and his dreams. And one day, that's exactly what they tried to do. They tore Joseph's rainbow robe off him and sold it to slave traders for 20 pieces of silver.
Wow.
Isn't that wild? Sold for 20 pieces of silver. Let's see what happens next.
The traders took Joseph to Egypt and made him into a slave. His brothers went home and lied to their father, telling him that Joseph was dead. That's the end of the dreamer, they thought. But they were wrong. God had a magnificent dream for Joseph. Life, and even when it looked like everything had gone wrong, God would use it all to help make the dream come true. God would use everything that was happening to Joseph to do something good.
Keep going.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
Though things were not looking good for Joseph in Egypt, he was far from home and from his dad. Then he got blamed for something he did not do. And even though he had done nothing wrong, he was punished and thrown in jail. But God had not left Joseph.
ooh, good thing God had not left Joseph.
That's good.
Let's see what the next page says. I can't wait. I love this. This is the dream part. Can you see it? Yeah, right. There. One night, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, had a scary dream about thin cows gobbling up fat cows. What on earth did it mean? He didn't know. But Joseph was a dream expert, so Pharaoh sent for him. It means a famine is coming, Joseph explained. There won't be enough food. Pharaoh was so pleased by Joseph's skill that he immediately took Joseph out of jail and made him a prince. Did you hear that? Took him right out of jail and made him prince. I love that. Now back home, Joseph's brothers had run out of food and everyone was hungry. God's special family was in danger. If they didn't get food soon, they would starve to death. So Joseph's brothers traveled to Egypt to buy food. They came and knelt before the new prince. His brothers didn't know that the prince was Joseph, but Joseph knew who they were. Joseph's dream, the one about his brothers bowing down to him, was coming true. "It's me!" Joseph cried. When they saw it was Joseph, his brothers were afraid. They had wronged Joseph. They had sinned and they knew it. Now Joseph would certainly punish them. But Joseph looked at his brothers and his eyes filled with tears. Even though his brothers had hurt him and hated him and wanted him dead, in spite of everything, he couldn't stop loving them. Sounds like somebody else I know. All right, Anna, you finish us off. Let's see what happens. He just revealed himself to his brothers.
His heart, which they had broken, filled up with love, and Joseph forgave them. Joseph threw his arms around them. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Behind what you were doing, underneath everything that was happening, God was doing something good. God was making everything right again. Joseph did not punish them. He rescued them. He brought God's special family to live safely with him in Egypt. One day, God would send another prince, a young prince whose heart would break. Like Joseph, he would leave his home and his father. His brothers would hate him and want him dead. He would be sold for pieces of silver. He would be punished, even though he had done nothing wrong. But God would use everything that happened to this young prince, even the bad things, to do something good, to forgive the sins of the whole world. And I bet you guys know who that is.
Yeah, everybody knows who they're talking about there. They're talking about Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I love the story of Joseph from the very beginning to the very end. Some of it I don't quite understand because I'm a dad, and Joseph's dad, Jacob, says that he's his favorite. Now, I don't really get that because all my kids are my favorite, but that's okay. It was the Old Testament. People did things differently. But I can't believe all the stuff Joseph had to go through.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think about him having to go be taken to Egypt, Anna?
I don't know. Like, that would be really hard. You guys can write in the comments what you think, too.
There we go. Yeah, so hard. I mean, he got sold into slavery, and then he was working for Potiphar, and then Potiphar's wife tried to kiss him, and then his wife said, no, actually, Joseph was trying to kiss me, and then he was thrown in jail, and there in jail, he interprets these dreams, and before you know it, Pharaoh has a dream, and God sends Joseph to Pharaoh. He interprets Pharaoh's dream, and then he becomes second in command of all of Egypt, and it's because Joseph's brothers come and they don't recognize him, and Joseph finally tells them, hey, I'm your brother, and they go, oh my goodness, we're so sorry. And Joseph said it was for a great salvation of people, that God let you do what you did. See, God knew that Egypt needed to be saved, and God knew that Canaan needed to be saved, and without Joseph it was going to be hard for him to be saved. And so there Joseph was.
Joseph is kind of like Jesus because he got sold from 30 pieces of silver too.
Exactly. And he got sold for 20 pieces of silver, and Jesus was sold for 30. So we just want you guys to know that you are amazing, that just like Joseph, God has amazing plans for you. I mean, Joseph was in prison, and all of a sudden, he became second in command of all of Egypt. And I know none of you are in prison right now, but that God is doing amazing things in you. And think of who you are going to become. Think of who you are now. The amazing ways God's made you, the amazing lives you're already touching. You are certainly God's chosen kids, amazing people. So let me pray for you, and I want you to have an amazing day. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I keep saying amazing. God, I just thank you for these mighty ones. Would you bless them? God, would you show them how much you love them today? Lord, as they read this story or think about this story this week, God, this Joseph story, would they think about you, and would they think about the life that you have called them to, this life of knowing God, even be able to have dreams about God, interpret dreams. God, would you make these mighty kids dreamers just like Joseph, and let them be leaders one day as well, God. We love you. We just bless these kids. Hey, guys, I hope you have an amazing and awesome Holy Week. We will see you soon.
Bye.
Have a great day. Bye.